Hi, I'm Mindy Fee. Welcome to my legislative report. We're here in the 37th District in Clay Township with Vincent and Edward Weaver from the Weaver Nut Company. It's one of my favorite stops that I make in the 37th District. You're kind of nestled right between my Manheim District office and my Denver District office, so it's always a good place to get little treats. So welcome, and thanks for allowing the 37th District to come and learn about the company a little bit.
Sure, and thank you for coming out.
Sure. So tell me, let's start off immediately with how long Weaver Nut Company has been in business.
We've been in business since 1975. It was started by my parents, Paul and Miriam Weaver, and they started it out of the basement of their house. And at that time, they primarily went to farmers markets. They actually built it into going to 7 farmers markets 6 days a week.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And they primarily sold bulk foods such as sugars and flours, and progressed more into the chocolate products, basically anything that you would need as a baker at home baking products, any types of supplies like that.
How many, I mean, was there anybody else in the family in this business, or was this just something they kind of created?
My dad always enjoyed the food industry. His father, my grandfather, actually was a missionary that would build food businesses from scratch, basically, and then sell them and use the proceeds to start churches, a lot of times in like Puerto Rico or South American countries.
Oh, what a great mission.
It was. And so my dad kind of caught that. He always wanted to be a merchant. And when he was a kid, and he caught that desire to want to build a business, and so he started it in 1975, just shortly after him and my mom got married. And from the farmers markets, they progressed to going to the Cloister Shopping Center.
Sure, yeah.
And so they had a store location in there, and he continued to grow it. He sold a lot of his stands so that he could focus on the store itself. And into the 80s, like the early 80s, he started distributing products as well, and he continued to add products to his line, such as gummies, and that was actually one of the products that he kind of stumbled upon and wasn't sure if it would actually work.
Oh boy, that was a good one to stumble upon.
So in the mid 80s, somebody came to him and said, "Hey, I have this gummy bear from Germany. Would you like to purchase some?" And I don't think he was too thrilled about that idea, but he said, "Sure, I'll try it out." And he took 10 cases. Sold them right away. He said, "I want a pallet now," and that transgressed into truckloads now that we're selling of gummy bears and all types of different gummy shapes and products.
Edward, tell me a little bit about the company's philosophy.
Well, we're really about serving the customer. We're family-owned, second generation now, so the service level is what we're about, giving the customer quality product. That's really what we're all about, and making sure that service level is excellent.
They're number one, the customer's number one, right?
Exactly.
So how many children did your parents have? How many siblings? You two are obviously brothers involved with the business, but let's talk about the family a little bit and who all is involved.
Okay, yes, there's 5 of us. We're 2 of 5. And we're actually the 2 youngest. I'm the youngest. And at one time, everyone was working in the business at some position. And my 2 sisters, they're both stay-at-home moms. My one sister actually still helps out when we get
when you need to call her in, right?
Yeah.
I was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years, so that is a very, very important job.
For sure. Yeah, and they both homeschool their children. So my oldest sister has 7 boys, and then,
oh, God bless her.
and my other sister has 6. So yeah, they have a lot going on.
I have a lot going on. So between not just family members, how many employees are here at Weaver Nut?
Close to 50. We have about 45, give or take. It's some seasonality to it. Obviously, fourth quarter is our busiest time of year.
Christmas time, of course.
Right.
Yep.
And then Easter as well.
So tell me about your different roles within the company.
Okay, so I'm the CFO. Together, Ed and I do run the business in all aspects, but my primary focus would be in the financial aspects of the business. But again, with a family business, you have to wear many hats. So I also am a commodities buyer, so that entails like looking at the markets and trying to study them and see when would be the best time to take a position and to contract. So that's something that requires not only a lot of time, but just a lot of industry knowledge, and you kind of keep your ear to the ground as you're looking at different commodity items. So it all depends on the crops, how the crops are doing, and also the monetary situations in other countries.
And your product also goes out, doesn't it?
It does. We actually did start exporting a couple years back now, and so that's an opportunity for us that we want to continue to grow on and just become not only well known in this area and country, but also in the world.
It's great. It's great. And your role is, compared to your brothers, I know it's probably wear many hats.
Yes, yeah, we all do a lot. I'm the chief operating officer. I do a lot of the candy and snacks buying. So pretty much all the candies, most of the snacks like your nuts or pretzels. I'm thinking of right here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, especially pretzels are a huge thing. But we use some of those ingredients in our trail mixes as well. But yeah, I do most of the buying in that category.
When did you make the change, and really why did you make the change? Because I know when your parents started it was, buying products in and distributing back out, but you started a whole candy making process now. So why'd you do it?
Well, like a lot of good things come to be, it actually stemmed from supply. We couldn't get the quality as well as the capacity that we needed. So we really looked hard at our options. We weren't happy with what we currently had. So we ended up putting in our own equipment.
Oh my goodness, what an undertaking though, but it's exciting, right?
Yes, very exciting.
I want to talk about if that's hard to do in Pennsylvania with our regulations that we have in place, but maybe we'll do that when we go inside a little bit, because that'll be interesting to see.
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely more regulations and food safety that we do have to comply with. And think about, we've added a quality control manager as well as a product support person. So there's a lot to think about in that aspect.
Yeah. One more thing is that one of the things that I always hear from some of the businesses in the district is it's not always finding employees. We have great employees in Lancaster County. We have great job opportunities. But is that a problem that's an issue for you, or do you find that once you get your employees, you retain them and you keep them for many years?
Sure. Vince, you want to answer that one?
Yes, sir. So as far as that goes, I mean, we do have many faithful employees. We had a couple drivers that started with my dad in the mid-'80s that recently retired. Oh, so they were with us 30 some years. That's a good reason
to get out.
Yes,
they're allowed to do that.
Exactly. But in a lot of industries, I mean, I've been hearing it and seeing it here lately that the labor force has been a challenge. And when we get someone good, you want to do everything you can to hold on to them as an employee.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we do focus on, just to make sure that we're doing the best we can to offer what we need to for employees to retain and bring in good workforce.
Well, and I think that's part of your philosophy also, not
Right.
just the customer, but your employees. And you see it because family-owned businesses are not always easy to come by. And boy, this is a great one. So I'm very excited. I would appreciate if you would take us inside so we can actually see some of the chocolate making being done, see some of the distribution part of it, and show the folks out in the district what all is right here.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go.
Perfect, thanks. So here we are in the chocolate making process, and I got to tell you, even with the hairnet, this could be my most favorite place. The smell in here is incredible. And I said, I feel like I wish I was on I Love Lucy, you know, when they were making on the conveyor belt, because it is just so delicious smelling here. So let's talk about this, because you added this in more recent years. So tell me a little bit why you did it, like we talked about out front, but really what all goes on here. Oh,
Okay.
so yummy.
And just so you know, we will have tasting samples later.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You'll be able to taste what you're smelling now. The reason we added this, again, as my brother Edward said, is we were having some capacity issues and quality issues with our suppliers. So as a distributor, we have many customers that depend on us to have a product that's consistent and is always in stock. And in order to take charge of that situation, we decided to bring production in-house. And so what you see behind me here is some manufacturing equipment that we brought in to do that. So in this operation, there's kind of a multi-step approach. This is a panning operation. So what you do is we have a melted chocolate that we would take and enrobe a nut meat or a dried fruit. Basically anything that you can tumble can be coated in chocolate.
And it's dark chocolate, milk chocolate, all the above, right?
Yes, we do milk, dark, yogurt at this point. So we have quite a variety of different products available here.
Where do you get your chocolate? Is that a trade secret?
We have a couple different sources, and we also can custom make products for customers. So if they're looking to have, say, a Belgian chocolate or something unique, we can actually do that for them with certain order minimums.
Lovely. Does that happen often where customers will ask for a unique thing?
It does. We try to stay with our house blend for our distribution business, but there are occasions where we have customers that have high order minimum or order volumes that they're looking for something that they use that's consistent to what their profile would be in the flavor and the color. So we can do that for them.
That's great. Edward, after the robing goes on with the chocolate, what's the next step?
So first of all, it's pan, melted, then it goes through a water jacketed pipe and drizzled onto the tumbling product, which builds up an outer coat. And then from there it cures for roughly 24 hours in these pans, these trays behind us. And then it gets put into a tumbling system where it's polished and sealed.
So before we head on to the next step, I find this fascinating because just watching the process. So after they're done being coated, they kind of come out like this, right? And this is where you can add all different kinds of chocolate on, and this is the actual chocolate on the nut.
Yes, that's correct.
But then to get it their beautiful shiny color, they go into the tumbler. So explain that process, how they go from this to end up looking like this.
So right here we're actually coating an almond, and in the coating machine what happens is chocolate is dribbled over top of tumbling almonds, and they build up this chocolate shell over top of them. Now what you see on this side is the product looks kind of dull because it's not polished yet. So what this has to do is we set this in, after it's coated, in bins for a 24-hour period so that the ambient heat of the product can get out prior to sealing it with the polish. So after the 24 hours, then we put these into a drum, round drums, and apply a polishing agent that initially it's tacky, but we blow cold air and proper humidity and temperature into the pans as it's tumbling. And you'll see this in the process. But after a few seconds, the tackiness starts to go away and it starts tumbling, and then it develops into a nice shiny product like this.
Perfect. Okay. Now we can head on. Thank you.
Did you know that in the corridors in the first floor of the capital of Pennsylvania, there are nearly 400 individual mosaics? The idea for creating these intricate tiles was first suggested by Henry C. Mercer in 1902. A year later, he received the commission to prove 16,000 square feet of pavement tiles for the Great Rotunda and corridors of the new state capitol building in Harrisburg. Mercer set about designing subjects for approximately 400 mosaics. He chose as his general theme the history of Pennsylvania, and he soon realized that his tiles could tell stories. Although the arrangement seems random, the mosaics are very thoughtfully placed in the floor. The tile sequence is roughly chronological, beginning at one end with the scenes depicting the Native Americans. The mosaics progress into the story of European habitation in the New World and encompass the Commonwealth's triumph through process and intervention. Now you know.
So we're in the distribution part, which I'll tell you, I'm sure when your parents, if they come over and visit, this is a far cry from their basement where this business started, right? I mean, it's incredible what you have here and how much inventory is here. But we had touched a little bit on just this portion of the business of who you sell to and what kind of things go out the door. But then what also is fascinating is the international part of the business. So let's start. Do you want to start now? You have the
Sure.
mic. Let's talk about the international part first.
Yeah, more recently, I've actually traveled internationally to China twice last year to exhibit at trade shows.
Okay.
And we had some success out of that, which is good. But more recently, there's some changes with the tariffs that China is implementing on our imports.
Sure,
Imports.
I mean, that's the federal government and it's out there and they're talking about it. It's not so much my level, but it does, and it affects our businesses right here in Lancaster County. So how is that affecting you?
It's to be determined yet, but it looks like it's going to slow exports to China specifically.
What kind of product does China like to buy?
Primarily nuts and dried fruits.
Okay.
And we've also shipped some candies as well.
Nice, nice. So what's the most popular product that goes out the door here?
Most popular products, I would say in general, would be either gummies or confectionery, specifically chocolate pretzel, let's say. That's a very popular item of ours. Gummy bears are very big, but we have close to 4,000 different items, so there's so many different varieties here that we offer that it's kind of hard to put my finger on one specific that everyone likes the most.
That's a huge inventory.
Right.
So who do you sell to? Who's the typical customer?
Probably like a mom and pop shop is always been our base. Lately we've been growing into selling the specialty manufacturers, those types of customers that are making healthier, better for you types of candies or confections.
And to know where their food came from. I mean, that's important.
Exactly.
People want to know that.
Right, and so it's important when we're selling those types of customers to know all of the free froms, they call it, like gluten-free and fat-free, whatever that type of audience is looking for. So we've seen a very big growing trend in the healthy snacking division, and so that's what we've been really focusing on here of late. We've also been handling a lot more types of ingredients for those types of customers, so that's been a growing segment of our business. And
again, not just in Lancaster County, not just in PA, but throughout the nation and now international. That's great. Well, let's head over to the store. So, because you not only sell bulk packaging, but we can go in through all that, but you do a lot of specialty items. So I want folks to know what all is available.
Great.
Thanks. So we're in the retail store, but on the way here, we stopped by the hand mixing and packing area. So just tell us a little bit what was going on over there.
Okay, we were packaging gummies, as you could smell.
Yeah, that was yummy.
And so those are sold in a lot of the department stores, such as TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, Cracker Barrel, those types of accounts. We have those gummies were private label for a customer. We also sell in the mixing. You saw how they were mixing roughly 1,000 to 1,500 pound batches and packing it into our bulk cases, 20 to 25 pounds. And that goes out to our mom and pop stores and some rebaggers as well.
I was going to say, but they then package in smaller packages.
Right.
And you also make your own trail mixes where you combine different things, because I've tried many of them in the past that are absolutely delicious. So who's in charge of coming up with all the different flavors and everything you want to put in them?
Well, a lot of it is Vincent and I, and the store ladies have also helped out a lot.
I was going to say, I'm sure they have a lot of input.
Yeah, more recently they've come up with some really good ones.
Sure. So we're in the retail store, and oh, you have to come to the retail store because there's just so much to see here, from, you know, world famous coffees you sell to all the packages of candy, and of course you have your display of all of your candy.
Yes, we do. So in front of you see our Weaver Chocolates products. Earlier in the episode, we saw how to make panned chocolates.
Sure.
And if you look at the products that are shiny, those are the products that would be panned.
Sure.
And then there's also products here that you see might be clusters that are hand done, or also like orange peels and almond butter crunch that would be enrobed.
Okay.
So we have some products set out here that you're welcome to try.
Oh my goodness.
We have both the specialty type products like a peanut coconut crunch or a almond butter crunch.
So this is what you're coming up with.
Yes.
I'm going to do this on camera. Well, oh my goodness. While I taste, review real quick with me another beautiful area that you do is a candy bar for weddings or special occasions.
Yes.
The cameraman suggested I may do that at Christmas time down at the house, so talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we have thousands of products here available. So somebody that's planning a wedding or even a party that they want to have a candy bar, we would be a very good place to come out and find bulk candies and even ideas on what you can put at a candy bar. We're going to show you a setup of a candy bar that we made here that will give hopefully brides-to-be some good ideas, and hopefully they can take that and run with it and have a nice candy bar presentation.
That would be such a great thing for a bride and her bridesmaids to come in and kind of pick out how they want to do it and how they want to set up.
Right.
That's fabulous. Talk about that coconut chocolate was delicious.
Thank you.
What's your favorite product?
I like peanuts, just a regular roasted peanut. But if you're talking a chocolate product, I'd like the milk chocolate pretzels. We also have behind you some dark chocolate coconut bites, which falls in the more healthy category. That's been, we have some right here. But as you can see, it's basically a coconut piece that is coated and panned in chocolate. That's a milk chocolate or dark chocolate product, excuse me. And so that has fallen more into the healthy category. We're seeing that type of thing growing now. Dark chocolate and healthier centers.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things that I've reached out to you for is sometimes when I have guest speakers come in, I have you do a gift basket, and I know you have a whole specialty section of that. So how about we walk over and take a look into that section of the store?
Yeah, sounds great.
Thank you. In the meantime, I'm going to keep nibbling. Thank you. So you have all the beautiful candy here, and the store is just fabulous. I mean, it's just fun when you walk into it. But you also have other products here. You still have bulk flour, you have bulk sugar, you have spices, you have pretzels. You kind of have the whole thing. And people get to actually pick and choose exactly what they like, especially on this wall behind us. We had the pick-a-mix. So tell us, whose idea was it, and how did this come to be?
Well, we've always had pick-a-mix back when we were in the Cloister Shopping Center, which was back in the 80s. My father put in pick-a-mix bulk bins so the customer can grab a bag and pick out one piece, if they want, of all their favorite candies. And as you see behind us, we have the piñatas that you can fill with the pick-a-mix, as well as the tins up here.
So they're great gifts. And they're great for actual, you know, for people to come in and get exactly
Yeah,
what they want and how
yeah.
they want it.
And a lot of events. We have the balloons as well that we do.
So then it's all just sold by bulk weight and out the door?
By the pound, yes.
By the pound.
Yes.
So if the candy's always changing, is there something that's really new and really hot? And I guess, where do you find it? I mean, do people bring it to you, or is it on one of your trips when you're out traveling? How do you find the latest things?
Well, pretty much everything that we sell in our retail store, we also sell in wholesale. And a lot of salespeople and brokers come to see me and the other buyers and present new products on an ongoing basis, as well as trade shows.
What was the worst candy you ever tasted?
It has to be the Jelly Belly Bean Boozles.
I am familiar. That's where they have one that tastes really yummy and the same color that maybe not so yummy, like Stinky Feet, not so yummy.
Right.
That's great, and I'm sure kids love them. I don't
Yes,
get it, but
yes.
yeah. So again, as I walked around here, I said you could come in, and because I often need a gift bag for somebody, but you have the gift bags here, but you also do a whole corporate end where you're out. You know, I had a speaker come in where I asked you to make me up some gift baskets for different speakers. So talk about that.
Yeah, so we have many different varieties of gift baskets available. We actually have some in front of us here, some examples. You can go from something small, from like a $20, $25 value, up to, you know, a large basket full of many different products.
And you can personally choose what you want in the gift basket, or you can rely on the experts here.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends, and we have staff here that will walk through the store with you as a buyer. If you want to say, I need, you know, 10 baskets with this, this, and that, and they can design that for you in a specific basket type with the right bow collar, and just have it customized to what you want.
And you'll ship them anywhere. And
we are also a FedEx ship center here as well, so we can ship it across the world, really. So,
well,
yeah,
I tell you, I appreciate you opening the doors. And again, I always say we have these hidden gems in the 37th district, and you are one, even though your name's out there. But there's many folks that may not know the extent of what you do here. It's really quite remarkable. So, yeah, I hope everybody gets a chance to come into the store. They can go back to their childhood very easily in here with all the goods candy. So, thank you for joining us today and touring Weaver Nut Company. We appreciate Vincent and Edward taking the time with us. If you have any state issues related at all that you need help with, again, I have an office in the Mannheim Square, and I have an office up in the Denver Municipal Building. Please don't hesitate to call me. Thanks again for joining us.